Go to the next slide. That is a typical early railroad station. That is Hyatt's. That's along the Hocking Valley, down in the southern part of Delaware County. The old Hyatt's station. Anybody guess what that is? That's the Springfield branch line. This is the Pennsylvania Railroad that ran along the west side of the Olentangy River. The Olentangy River, this train is heading east toward over to Lake Street.
23 says that.
Okay?
Yes, William Street covered bridge.
Yeah, the William Street covered bridge. Look at that. That was a covered bridge over William Street back in the day. That's a great picture. Great picture. But that bridge, of course, still exists today. It's now a hike-to-bike trail. And the expressway, the Delaware City, the expressway, Route 23, runs right along here. Okay? This is a shot that I acquired. This is a CD&M car. I don't know where it was taken or what the significance is, but these nice folks stood for the photographer. And they're all smiling. And that's car number 10 along the CD&M. Here is the Delaware station that existed on West William Street on the Hocking Valley. This would be William Street. This was a watchman at that time. That's before they had the crossing gates and automatic signals. They had a guy that would watch for automobile traffic and to stop them when the train. So you can see the train pulling into the station going northbound. That's the Delaware station. That station was torn down, what, in the 1970s, 80s? 1980s.
Dick McGovern's painting of that is in City Hall. It's beautiful.
Excellent. Peter White, thank you. If you've ever been in City Hall and you go up the steps up to City Council chambers, and you actually, when you come back down, you see that painting right there. It's a wonderful, wonderful painting of that station. This is the devastation along the Pennsylvania Railroad at the 1913 flood on the west side. That's the river on the right. You're looking northbound. This would be toward the station. There's an upset wooden rail car to the left of that gentleman on the rail line there. The debris that came down the Olentangy River knocked a span of the Springfield branch off. And you can see that railroad ain't going very far, is it?
How high do you have tall bridges today?
Yeah, right. But you can see there's part of a house, all the devastation, the 1913 flood, 101 years ago. Some more devastation of the 1913 flood. There's some wooden rail cars amongst houses. Buildings in the back. That's City Hall on the right, the old City Hall. That's St. Mary's. And look at the devastation from that. Right in the Delaware yards, Pennsylvania Railroad. Here is the Pennsylvania station when it looked like before the 1913 flood. Look at the horses and buggies, right? This train, here's the river would be over here. This train is southbound. It looks like an old grain elevator in the background. There's a steeple in the background. I just wonder if...
That's the Seventh-day Adventist.
And I think this is the top of the courthouse right here. So you're looking northwest.
The photographer's standing on the west end of the Winter Street Bridge.
There you go. Thank you very much, Peter. It's a wonderful photograph. Wonderful photograph. Here's they're rebuilding the Springfield Branch Bridge, the high bridge. They're rebuilding that. Yeah, they're rebuilding that. This is another view of the Hocking Valley Railroad Station out on the west side of town. Of course, you see Delaware on this end and in the middle there. And I would submit this is probably William Street here, looking southeast. That photograph, okay. We all know where that is. That's over on the Lake Street station that still exists today. That you can see all these tracks there. That was the Delaware yards, and the Delaware shops would have been over here. Would have been over here. This would be Central Avenue crossing right here, and that's looking southwest. It's looking southwest. The Delaware cutoff went right around, so that is still very much. Anybody know where Meredith is?
I do, between Matter and 23.
Okay. Meredith served the area up in Radnor. Up in Radnor. That was the station stop was known as Meredith back in those days. But that was out along the Pennsylvania Railroad back out there, or the Hocking Valley, excuse me, and Radnor was farther to the west, but that was known as Meredith. That was the station out there. Okay. This is an interesting shot. Anybody know where that shot was taken from? Prospect, Ohio, which is in Delaware County. But the reason I included that was that station, that building used to be the Hocking Valley Railway Station up in Prospect. It was moved into Prospect and became a restaurant. I remember eating up there. Anybody have an idea where that building is today? It's in Columbus. I know the gentleman who bought that. He tore it down piece by piece, board by board, nail by nail. It's now the clubhouse for a golf course in Columbus. And you can still go get a sandwich there. I wish I knew the name of it, but they built a full service kitchen on the back side of that. Anyway, I took that shot probably back in around 1990, 1988, 1990. But I just threw that in as an interesting slide. There's another shot of the Big 4 railroad station off Lake Street. We're looking, probably this view I would say is looking northwest probably. You can see the steam engine pulling in. Look at all the people waiting to greet people or get on the train going south toward Columbus. This is this is a wreck. I don't know this, I'll need to do some more history of the wreck of this, but this is on the Delaware cutoff. This was probably taken from probably from up above on this station, was looking out this way. This is looking southeast along the curve of the Delaware cutoff. And you can see there's quite a wreck. The Springfield branch would go off this way. Okay? And it's quite an interesting photo. I just threw that in because then there was a wreck there. Here is the interior of the Delaware shops. I mentioned from the 1880s into the early 1900s, they employed up to 450 men at one time. They did maintenance work. They built some cars for the Big 4 railroad. Most of those cars were wooden. In fact, probably all were wooden back in those days. You can see a variety of 3 wooden cars with the men there. I think I have a couple more shots of the Delaware shop. Here's the turntable and the roundhouse. That roundhouse burned in 1954. But there's the turntable, a couple of steam engines there. Turntable, Delaware shops. This, you can't see this, but there's a sign up here on the side of the locomotive that says the last day of the Delaware shops. It's in 1913, so everybody posed for a shot before the shops closed. Posed for a photo. 1913. Okay. There's another shot. Last day, Big 4 shops, Delaware, Ohio. There's the date, August 30th, 1913. The Union, 341, I and FM, and